In that, they will see both these queues and they'll select which queue they want to go ahead according to our information that, okay, this Q2 will be utilized for this particular reason. Q1 will be utilized for this particular reason. We can go ahead and name them accordingly. So we will be utilizing this JMS queues for our schema. So let's say you have got a record. So your requirement was basically any record which is created inside MDM or it is being updated in MDM. All those things needs to be sent. Okay, via queue, message queues. So we will utilize message triggers like we have SQL triggers, right? Attribute, we just go ahead and put the triggers on which event the trigger should happen, right? The same thing happens over here as well. So we have two different ways to send the data. One is we'll just go ahead and utilize the default format in which it will be given the IDs of the record so that it will be faster and they'll just get the ID, and with that particular ID they'll go ahead and do a get call in the MDM and they'll receive that particular data, and that get call can be done via a SOAP or a REST. Okay, so message triggers, how that will be done, how this queue will be utilized, we'll be seeing forward. No issues in that, because we have
Okay.
not gone ahead and we are not creating any schema right now. We are just going through all the properties over here. So all these properties we'll be going ahead. But first, I just wanted to go through each and every settings and what will be done in later on. I'll just tell you accordingly. Okay. So message queues are created only once. Let's say you won't be creating message queues multiple times. You'll just create the queues according to your requirement once, and that will be utilized by all your ORS, all your message triggers in the same section. So queues are created in master database. That is why, because a single queue can be utilized by multiple ORS data. And there is repository manager. This is something which is majorly important and is utilized by developers in very frequent way. First is to validate the ORS. The validate of ORS means any issues which is there, any errors, any warnings on towards the database itself will be showcased over here for our ORS databases. So if there is any issues, then you cannot go ahead and export your configuration, you cannot import your configuration, you cannot promote your configuration. Okay. So over here, that is for validate. Validate is something which will be utilized multiple times. Okay. Then is your promote. Promote is utilized for doing multiple promotions or multiple migrations according to our sprint level and what we need to go ahead and do a promote for. It's a pick and choose kind of a thing. Module level promotes. It is utilized to send the configuration from one environment. We go ahead, export it, and we import those configuration according to what is needed to be promoted. Okay. Second thing is import. Import can only be done once in MDM lifetime, because import needs the empty ORS. Import you cannot go ahead and do even if you have created a single thing in the ORS. If you have created a single configuration, you cannot import it. What you have to do? You have to go ahead and promote always, because import doesn't take chunks. It takes the entire configuration and it creates everything. It does not recreate, it does not replace, it just creates. So if you have anything which is being done, if you will try to import, you will not get that. I have an export, I can showcase you that. So let's say this one is the source. Which one is my target? Let's say CMS source. Right? So unless and until it's an empty ORS, you cannot go ahead and import it. Okay. What does export means? Export is to save a particular entire configuration from a single ORS. So when we export, it also exports the entire provisioning tool as well as your hub console configuration. Okay. We'll go ahead and do exports and promote at the end of the session. Like at the very last session would be for imports and promotes. Sorry, for exports and promotes. Okay. So this is utilized for all those purposes. Import CWM file and export CWM file. It's another file extension which was utilized, but it's a bulkier and more time taking. So nowadays, from I think 9.8 version or 10 version, we have stopped utilizing importing the CWM and exporting of CWM files. Because over here, we cannot go ahead and do a promote which is section promote or in a piece or component which is being upgraded or which has been enhanced or which is newly created. We cannot just import that chunk of code or that chunk of configuration. We cannot do that kind of thing. So that's why we have started using these, because this actually utilizes an XML format. The export will be in XML, so it gets read very quickly and we can go ahead and do promotes very easily. Okay. Enterprise manager and workflow manager, these are information regarding your application layer, which version, where it is being installed, and on process server, which are the process servers, where is the hub, ORS database and everything. Master database, which particular version we are using, what is the product. ORS database configurations, version history, that means any patches are being installed or not. Right? Environment report will give you the entire server list, at which particular application server we are using, what is the database which we are using, and so on and so on. So it's just an information kind of thing. And this is useful when we go ahead and create a Informatica ticket for any kind of help we need from Informatica, or if there is any bug which is there. Then there is in 10.4, they have merged two different workflow adapters.